on the exploitation of your personal data. So all of us create this trail of data every day, all of the devices and machines that we create, and this data is very valuable and is being exploited by those companies. And we're not the owners of this data at the moment. And so that's easy to say, but what is that data really worth? So we actually built a calculator. You can go to calc.datum.org and you can see how much money are these companies making from you individually every year. And so just a few companies that are part of our calculator, that comes to about $2,000 every year. So every time you use Facebook or Google, they give you some free services, but they make a lot of money off of it. And you'd think that they would treat this data responsibly since it's worth so much, but actually they're very bad at it. They're always losing this data, and this is because it's stored in centralized databases. They have a central front door, a firewall to protect it, and that always gets poked through by hackers. Governments come from the back and do information requests. And we think this is a big, big problem. Actually, all of this data sitting in these central databases, it's insecure and it's not being made available to others to extract the value and extract the knowledge that sits in this data. So with Datum, we're proposing a solution to that. It's a decentralized network where you own the private keys to your data and you can securely delegate access either for free or for rewards in exchange for our DAT tokens to this data. And the second component is we're building an eBay for data, a showcase for data sets. We aggregate data of individuals and let companies buy this. And all of this is powered by the Datum Token. And this token has three main functions that are really the cornerstone of any free marketplace. One is you need a means of exchanging value. So cryptocurrency enables that, it enables microtransactions in an efficient manner. And then very importantly, when we talk about tokens, especially on Ethereum, adds the ability to program your own smart contracts. So you can now add conditions to the exchange of value. You can add your business logic to the exchange. And thirdly, we add some conventions around measuring and categorizing data. So you need to know what are you actually trading in the marketplace. And so this is how our smart contract works. And this is how the token incentivizes stakeholders in this system. So we're not building another central database. We're building a data storage network that is run by the people for the people, or by companies for other companies. And so we're removing this centralized intermediary, right? So in our smart contract, people pay a small amount of that tokens to store data in the network. Then we have sort of storage nodes. They're comparable to miners in the Bitcoin network. Those are the people who are running this network, and they're also rewarded in these DAT tokens. And last but not least, people who want to buy the data can buy data using the DAT token. And all of this functionality is powered automatically by the smart contract. So there's no central party, there's no eBay in the middle that governs the exchange, the trade. All of this is automated. So we have various different components in our tech stack, but one thing is the Datum app, which you can download. You can connect your personal data sources, things like Facebook, HealthKit, your Gmail inbox, and you can then take ownership of this data, and you can take advantage of some opportunities where companies are willing to buy this data. So for example, companies through Datum can buy receipts of their competitors that you receive in your email inbox. So if you're Samsung, you could go in and buy Apple Store receipts of people and then maybe predict the demand of the next iPhone. And we do have some hardware products already that have Datum integrated. And the story here is very empowering for the users of these products, because traditionally the companies are taking the data and storing it away in their central database, and they make some deal with companies in the background to sell this data or share this data. But we're turning this around. We're giving you as the end user the choice to basically share this data. And that's very empowering to you as a user, because now when you buy this water bottle that tracks how much water you're drinking, you're actually encouraged to use it for the first month, for example, because you're getting rewards if you use it every day and if you're willing to share this data. And it goes beyond that. So this data is also being shared with an organization that researches kidney stones in children and young adults, and that's related to hydration. And you can now consciously make that choice to share this data with that organization. And every time you'll take a sip of water, you'll feel empowered by that, knowing that, hey, the data that you're sharing is also helping a good cause. And then, of course, we have a test network, and you can go to dashboard.datum.org. It's sort of the blockchain explorer right? You can look into this data trading network, what's happening in there. And one important thing about doing these the token sales is the community that you're building, right? So there's a term ICO, initial coin offering, but I'd like